Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Chet and welcome to another episode of Stealing Licks from Legends. This time we're going to be learning a lick from the shred god himself, Steve Vai, and it features on his legendary song, Tender Surrender. Check this out. So this lesson, I'll be teaching you that exact lick, note for note, and I'll also have the tab on the screen while we're going through it so you can follow along as well. We'll then study the lick in a little more detail, analysing the relationship between the notes and the underlying chord progression, as well as his use of technique and rhythm, so we can figure out exactly why this lick works and sounds so good. This will then nicely lead us to the final part of the video, where I'll provide a little bit of insight into how you might be able to apply this lick to your own improvising. And I'll be doing that by sharing with you guys a couple of demonstrations. So we're going to dive straight into learning this lick. First, I'll play the lick up to tempo, and then again slowly so you can hear the notes in isolation. Here goes. So how to actually play the lick? Well, you start off with your first finger on the E string on the 10th fret, which is the note D. And you're going to slide down to the 7th fret on the E string. You're then going to hammer with your middle finger to the 8th fret. Then your first finger is going to play the 7th fret on the A string. And you're going to hammer to the 10th fret with your little finger on the A string. So you got this so far. The next note is the 7th fret on the D string, which slides up to the 9th fret on the D string, and it's even 16th notes there, so there's no kind of rushing on the slide. Everything's equally spaced at this stage. You're then going to hammer with your middle finger onto the 10th fret of the D string, so you got this so far. Your first finger is then going to play the 9th fret on the G string. And you're going to hammer to the 12th fret on the G string with your little finger. So far we have this. Your first finger will then play the 10th fret on the B string, still 16th notes, and you're going to slide up to the 12th fret. So far we have this. Your middle finger will then hammer onto the 13th fret on the B string. Now the rhythm starts to change because he's coming towards the end of the bar and he's going to fit in a few extra notes. And he does this by playing a triplet on the E string, playing the 12th fret, hammering to the 15th fret and pulling back to the 12th fret. Then he pulls off 13 to 12 on the B string. So far we have this. He then uses his ring finger to slide up from the 15th fret to the 19th fret on the E string. He then uses the first finger, 17th fret on the E string. And for the final note, which moves to the next chord, he plays the 20th fret and bends it up to the 22nd fret. So it's a whole tone bend. And he adds some vibrato on there, it's wide and fast vibrato. So stringing all those notes together, we get this. And there you go, that's how to play the lick.
Sweet.
So now we have to analyse how the lick relates to the harmony, and it's actually quite a simple one this time. Looking at the notes, what we actually have here at its core is just a C major 7 arpeggio. If we look at this part of the lick, all that's happening is he's literally ascending up the arpeggio in different octaves. He's got the major 7, the root note, major 3rd, and the 5th. He then repeats that here, and up here. The notes that he's sliding from are just passing notes as such, so we can almost ignore the fact that they aren't part of the C major 7 arpeggio. What they are actually is the 9 to start with, the note D, and then the 13 from A. So they just act as passing notes. so we can treat this as just a C major 7 lick. The chord underlying this arpeggio is just a C major chord, so naturally this lick is going to lock in really well with the harmony. The lick ends with a bend from C to D on the high E string, and that highlights the chord change because it's the root note of the next chord, which is D major. Now the lick itself is actually quite straightforward, but it's the speed and the technique he uses here which really gives it that edge and makes it stand out of the crowd for me. Even though he's literally just ascending through an arpeggio, his use of legato really allows him to rip through the fretboard, and he ties this together with a clever use of rhythm that really adds to the tension. He starts off the lick using consistent 16th notes throughout until the very peak where he adds in that extra triplet, giving that is he gonna make it in time feeling to the listener.
It's not gonna make it.
That anxiety and heightened tension is fully released when he does that final bend from C to D, and we finally get that strong sense of resolution. So you can see here, the harmony doesn't have to be complex to pull off a really killer lick. Now as promised, we're going to discuss how you can apply this lick to your own playing. And like I said, this harmonic analysis was quite simple here, so as a result, I used quite a straightforward approach to applying this one.
Oh, thank God.
We can pretty much apply this lick whenever it's appropriate to play a major 7 arpeggio, because at the end of the day, that's all it is. So that could mean we could take a more basic approach and play it just over a major chord, which is actually what Steve Vai does in Tender Surrender. We could though try a more advanced approach and try and superimpose the major 7 arpeggio over another chord. For example, we could play this lick starting on the minor third of a minor 7 chord, and that would imply the 9th extension to the chord. So take A minor 7 for example, we have the notes A, C, E and G. Now C, E and G is just a major triad. If we add the 7th to that, that would be the note B, which is the 9th of the A minor 7 chord, and that's why that works. We could also imply the Lydian sound that we looked at when studying the Marcus King lick by playing this major 7 lick from the 1 chord over a 4 chord in the same key. But check out how I use it in the most simple way by playing it over a major chord while improvising over a rock backing track. Something else to consider, which I feel can also result in some other interesting ideas, is using this lick in different genres. Now obviously, this lick has been taken from a virtuoso style of playing in the rock genre, but what if we use this idea in a funk or fusion setting? Check this out. It works, right? And that shows you something as simple as changing the tempo or rhythm of a lick, for example, can really help adapt it to suit a different style, and that will open up a whole new range of playing possibilities. Always be willing to experiment with these ideas and have fun while you're doing it. You never know what you're going to end up creating. But that about does it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to also press the bell notification icon down below so you're the first to know when future content is out. Till next time guys, I'll catch you later.